ban.
Hello and welcome back to the Join Dota League Season 4 here on HeflaTV 2. I'm Grandis and I'll be joined by Mike Loris for Game 2 of XPC International versus afterShock Gaming.
Alright, so Game 1, I think we both were in agreement that XPC probably had a slightly better draft, but afterShock, even with their supports not getting a whole lot done in the early stages, they just got so much done. I think, kind of fortunately, Jilpy with the Ember Spirit ran into a whole bunch of kills, so I mean, that kind of works out for them in the end, but I don't know, XPC, they just kind of seemed outclassed by afterShock.
Yeah, I think that's fair. They never really put together that big AoE teamfight combination that they built inside the draft. Their chronospheres generally were on one or two people, same with their black holes. I don't think we saw more than 3 black holes that entire game. And if they were, they really didn't have that much follow-up. There was a couple times where you could see where those combos would line up, and they just never happened for them. It seems that XPC, I'm not exactly sure what they need to do in this draft, because I thought in Game 1 they had a pretty solid idea. Maybe get the supports a little bit more active around the map in the early portion of the game. As nice as it is to have a Skywrath Mage roaming, as a solo roaming hero, you can't really accomplish much. So maybe replace that in Ingwa with something along the lines of an Ogre and Earthshaker.
Yeah, or maybe have a couple of core heroes that aren't reliant on huge AoE, large cooldown spells. Heroes that are able to fight a little more consistently. Like the Invoker was doing a pretty good job, I think, because of that fact. And, well, it looks like they're going to say, screw you to our advice. They're going to go for an Abaddon, which is pretty much the opposite of everything that we just listed right now. So it's going to be certainly a very different game from XPC. I mean, we listed a couple of changes in the draft they could take. They could just take a game in the completely opposite direction as last time and try for a different game of Dota altogether. That can work if they're a little bit more comfortable with that, but up against Razor and now an Elder Titan, what is going on with this draft?
I don't know, I think it's just teams trying some different strats. As for afterShock, I kind of like their heroes a little bit better together than just a straight-up Abaddon. As nice as he is as a hero, just being able to drop that shield and keep your carries alive with constant heals, I think you can leave him a little bit later on in the draft. Razor, I think, deserves his spot. Elder Titan situationally, so I'm not sure if this is the ET game, but maybe it's something afterShock want to pull out. It synergizes decently well with the Razor, taking away all of the base armor of heroes is wonderful for the Eye of the Storm. As well as just a lot of damage inside the team fights. It's definitely a different approach than what we saw last game.
Alright, so XPC, they know what they're up against. They're up against two very high damage heroes, and Abaddon is, I guess, a hero that you want to have if you're up against that, but Abaddon can do pretty much nothing versus Razor. Hell, even versus Elder Titan, Abaddon's contributions are going to be rather limited. I'm generally not a fan of this hero in general, much less as a first pick, so right off the bat, like with only 3 heroes being picked up, afterShock just have so much more power in their lineup.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Abaddon, you can play him very aggressively, getting somebody that can benefit from that extra sustain, but they're going to go for a troll. Honestly, I have no idea where this draft is going to head from XPC. I don't know, Troll and Abaddon, they synergize decently well together, I suppose, inside the Roshan pit with Curse of Avernus, as well as with the Battle Trance, but I don't really understand where they're headed with these first 2 picks. They don't seem to really do anything.
Now, here we go. We got Curse of Avernus, right, with the additional attack speed. You have Battle Trance. We're going to have another one of those games where they take all the heroes that have on-hit effects, like bashes and crits and everything, and they're just going to spam the hell out of attack speed. That's the only synergy I see right now for XPC.
I mean, we saw that the other day. Give a Spirit Breaker on top of, like, Slardar. That's exactly what they're going to do. I don't know, it wouldn't be the worst, I suppose, if you're going to go for a troll this early on.
I mean, yeah, Troll Warlord, if you pick him this early on, then you clearly have some plans with Battle Trance. I like the Lycan ban for afterShock. Jakiro ban is not exactly the best, complementing what XPC already have, but it's just a deadly hero in general. It looks like afterShock, they're just going to stick to, pretty safe picks, and the Witch Doctor following. I mean, getting a little bit more sustain against this potential Doom push of XPC as they pick up a Visage. Huh. Well, I mean, it doesn't look like the best game for Drow Ranger, but it won't be the worst game either.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think the best thing for Drow in this game is that afterShock are very limited in their ability to get the jump onto a Drow. Elder Titan, Razor, and Witch Doctor are generally heroes that are going to sit back, and although they still have room to pick up a hero to get on top of the Drow and cancel that aura, I don't know, it definitely could work out for them. I think the biggest issue is that you already have a troll and a Abaddon, but I suppose Troll is pseudo-ranged, and when he is in that range form, you can get that damage, and they are going to go for it, and a Bristleback and Aftershock, this Troll might work out for them, to be honest. The physical damage coming out from Aftershock is scary, but unless we see like a blinking Bristleback, getting in the face of this Troll is going to be pretty difficult for them.
Yeah, but if you somehow do get close enough, then Bristleback is the type of hero that will stick to the Drow Ranger, and he will not be peeled off by anything. Like, there's a gust, maybe, to buy the Drow a little bit of space, but with Goo and the Warpath, you will not be able to stop the Bristleback. So XPC, this Drow Ranger, is not really up against the worst possible heroes, and Aftershock needing one more support are most likely not going to have a huge jump in power and threat level versus this Drow Ranger. I just fear that Bristleback, Razor are just way too tanky for XPC to effectively peel off. Like, Visage does quite a bit of damage. On paper, Troll, Warlord, and Drow will do it as well, but with Razor on the field, a static link, and Bristleback just charging forward, kind of just without care for his own safety, this is a dangerous situation for XPC. And Aftershock, it looks like they're just going to go for a full-on brawling lineup. They, of course, need that one more support. I think the tankier support they could pick up, the better. But, I don't know. I think, once again, XPC, they are going to be in a very awkward laning stage.
Yeah, and this one I think is going to be more awkward than last. Abaddon is going to be sitting behind the Drow Ranger, maybe running some pulls, but is pretty much going to be non-existent inside the laning phase. Troll mid should do decently, but it's up against a Razor, which isn't a very happy place for a Troll to be at all. Yeah, I'm just not really feeling it. The Visage also isn't going to be contributing that much in lane. Might get a little bit of priority as far as farm is concerned from XPC if they're going to switch around these lanes a little bit. But with the Lich last pick from Aftershock, it looks like they're just going to run over them in the laning phase, and I'm not sure if XPC are going to be able to find a footing in this game.
I really like this Lich pick. Usually Lich is just, a very safe, very steady support pick, but knowing you're up against a Drow Ranger and a Troll Warlord, both of whom are almost purely physical based, the ice armor is going to be huge. So Aftershock, they're going to have a lot of survivability just with their heroes being tanky, first of all. Then the Lich and Witch Doctor will also add a lot of survivability to those cores. Then you have Elder Titan, who's going to be taking survivability away, just staying alive in those fights. So Aftershock, I think their supports are certainly going to mesh very well with what they have going. I'm still on the fence about this Abaddon pick. Like, keeping Drow Ranger alive is certainly very nice, but when you're working with Drow Ranger and you're going to be picking up a melee hero, you want that melee hero to be a complete distraction. Abaddon's not one of those heroes, but now we see a sniper being picked up for XPC, so glass cannon build for XPC. It's another physical damage hero, and this ice armor from Lich is going to be a brick wall.
Yeah, I have no idea where they're going with the sniper pick, and I hope it works out for the sake of XPC. It's going to be an interesting draft from them, but I have my doubts. They're going to be incredibly squishy. All of these heroes rely fairly heavily on their base armor, except for the Visage. He's kind of the exception to the rule. But other than that, XPC are just going to be shredded apart by this physical damage coming out from Aftershock. That said, it's all about individual play, and let's see how these lanes are going to pan out. As Aftershock are on the Radiant side, loading out, we're going to have Kefka on to the offlane Elder Titan. Our mid hero is going to be Mind Control on the Razor, supports Magoma on the Lich, as well as Zeroji on the Witch Doctor, leaving last but not least our safe lane farming Bristleback to be played by Jalopy.
And on the XPC side, Drow Ranger is going to be played by Madra. He's being supported by Skanks on the Visage and presumably the Abaddon as well, played by Spartan, although he's heading to a different lane. The Sniper is going to be played by Relax, and it will be a mid lane sniper. That leaves Troll Warlord on the bottom lane. Right now he's going to be played by Water. And it will be, it looks like, just pure, straightforward dual lanes for XPC. Troll Warlord Abaddon. I can't say I've actually seen this dual lane before. It actually doesn't seem too terrible. I mean, like, Troll Warlord is ranged sometimes, and whenever he does get into a fight, having a shield on him is pretty threatening.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Even though it's not the scariest of lanes as far as kill potential, I think it'll be able to secure enough farm on this Troll Warlord. He's not going to have a great time by any means, but he's not going to have a bad one either. So I think that could work out for them, and also throwing the Sniper mid versus the Razor, despite Sniper being a purely physical mid laner, as far as getting those last hits are concerned. He put a little bit of pressure on the lane with Shrapnel, but that's negligible. He's going to be so far back that getting a sustained link off onto him is going to put Mind Control at risk, if it's even going to come out at all. So this should just be a farm fest. Over in the river side, we're going to see a double damage rune picked up by Skanks as Abaddon gets the bounty rune. DD is going to be sat on for quite some time before actually picked up. But once it is, this is going to give Visage a decent amount of zoning power up against the ET.
And that's going to be so necessary as Kefka already, well, I mean, he won't be pressured that much by the Drow Ranger until Drow gets level 5, level 6-ish. Well, now with Magoma joining the lane as well, this Visage is going to do some heavy lifting. Otherwise, Drow Ranger, I could see getting zoned out of this lane. Mind Control is going to be the first one to experience the double damage rune of Skank. Certainly very annoying for him. And Relax kind of needs this help. I think it's just going to be a Shrapnel build from the Sniper, and he'll try to chip down the tower, general standard Sniper stuff there, but getting a couple of free hits off to the tower, off on creeps to start things off is pretty much the best case scenario. Mind Control is still fighting up against Skanks, who's messing with the creep wave, actually. This Visage is now taking quite a bit of damage just from the creeps alone. Still has a DD, but Mind Control can actually put a lot of damage onto this Visage right now.
Yeah, right now they're both hitting it about the same, with 21 damage stolen by the Razor, even with the double damage rune activated, and that's going to wear off in about 5 seconds or so. A little bit longer than that, actually. But apparently Razor has internet issues, so we're going to have a little bit of a pause while we wait for Mind Control to sort his stuff out. He had issues last game as well, so hopefully a router restart will fix everything permanently, but I have my doubts. As far as the bottom lane, it's going to be Bristleback Witch Doctor versus Troll Abaddon. I actually have no idea how this lane is going to work out for them, especially without a pull available for afterShock. XPC are going to be able to get a decent amount out of this lane, but so should Jalopy as well as Zoroji. So I think this one's more or less going to be washed, and I doubt either side's going to get a kill unless Water and Spartan get caught out by Paralyzing Casket Bounce just between the two.
Yeah, I think if the only chance that XPC have of getting a kill in this lane is going for Witch Doctor, and that is going to require boots on the Troll Warlord. If he picks that up first, then with the movement speed differential, I could see XPC getting a kill on the Witch Doctor. It is possible, although it's going to be fairly unlikely. So, yeah, they're going to be trading harassment back and forth, and maybe it's going to be a surprise kill going either way, but I don't really think much is going to happen there. Top lane Madra, he's being left alone for right now, and Drow Ranger is doing okay in that circumstance, but I don't know. I feel like if you're going to be picking up a Drow Ranger, you have to ensure her farm a little bit more, because an underfarmed Drow Ranger is kind of depressing.
Yeah, definitely. I think more important than farms for the Drow is the levels, to make sure that she gets that aura available, and at least other heroes will be able to do the damage. Visage and Sniper benefit very heavily from having that precision aura available. An early level 6, level 11 on Madeira could be wonderful for them. But in this situation, she's not leveling as fast as these two heroes, the Lich and the Elder Titan, even though they're in a dual lane situation, mostly because of the sacrifice, giving a little bit of boost experience to afterShock as well as denying that away from the Drow.
Well, look at this good-mannered play. Okay, so yeah, the pausing is going to continue. Snooze, snooze, snooze. But yeah, Bristleback taking quite a few hits. But XPC, what good-mannered people. Love seeing that happen. But yeah, no, don't take your time. Hurry up. We don't want to sit here forever. But either way, mid lane, because of the interference of the Visage, the Sniper is actually off to a pretty good start here. Plus, he has additional 5 damage from Precision Aura. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it does add up. He's now hitting about the same as the Razor. Relax only has 1 point headshot, so obviously level 1 is going to indicate how he wants to build the Sniper. But, I mean, with so many extra things giving him damage from the Troll Warlord and from the Drow Ranger, maybe this is a game where you just take aim in order to keep yourself safe versus the Razor, and then take some headshot as well. I don't know. Shrapnel is pretty standard, but I think if there is a game to skip Shrapnel, this should be one of them.
I don't think you skip it, but I think this is like a max take aim build, because I'm not sure that the Shrapnel harass on the tower is going to be useful enough, and I think take aim is worthy in this lane, just being able to farm up against Mind Controls. It's unlikely that he's going to be able to zone him out. I don't know. I think either of the choices have their merits, so either like a 4-1-1 or a 1-1-4, something along those lines.
Yeah, but either way, Sniper, he just wants to keep safe versus the Razor. That's obviously his #1 concern, and if you get more take aim, you're generally going to be a little bit safer. Static Link is certainly a threat if Razor gets right on top of you, but that's exactly what take aim is good at countering, keeping enemies away from you. So Sniper is going to be, taking his range and doing snipery things. Yeah, I don't really think anything else is going on in this game aside from that. We do see a very fast Soul Ring being built up by Teletitan, pretty standard there. I expect the Visage to eventually go back on the top lane. We'll be able to help out the Drow Ranger quite a bit, but this Elder Titan, he's already off to a much better start than usually Elder Titans see. So getting a quick level 3 or something like that will just help him so much more down the line. An extra level of Astral, additional point in Natural Order here and there. This good start, even though it may not stick for afterShock, is going to be very nice for them.
Yeah, definitely. Well, looks like we're going to get back into this game soon as everybody's reconnected, and hopefully everybody's done with their business, and we are going to get back into the game. So hopefully something is going to happen, as I think we've pretty much talked about all of these lanes in a vacuum.
Yeah, and rotations, as far as that is concerned, most likely they won't be coming out from afterShock. Lich isn't really a great hero to rotate out, and since Witch Doctor's in a different lane, it's very unlikely, and, well, XPC don't really have great ganking heroes either, as they're most likely just going to be sticking in their lanes. Abaddon ganking is not actually a thing, and Visage ganking is actually okay, but just by himself, I don't really think he get that much done, especially when he's ganking the likes of a Razor. We're going to see a little bit of fighting down the bottom lane, but this trading of hits, I'm pretty sure is just going to be about par for the course for the entire game. Troll Warlord, with the Magic Stick picked up very early on, Abaddon as well, are actually going to have a lot more of an edge than I thought. I did not consider these Magic Sticks. Because of Jalopi's spamming of Quill Spray, this is going to give Troll Warlord the mana to pretty much never-endingly harass them with Whirling Axes.
Yeah, and it's also going to make sure that he always has an Aphotic Shield on him if he does want to trade, but then again, there is Voodoo Restoration for Leonola and for the Witch Doctor to help sustain. It's just 1 point, but I think that's going to be enough to keep Jalopy and Zeroji in experience range, although they're going to throw the Axis range in order to slow down Zeroji, and the mischance on Jalopy should mean that Water is safe, although he's taking the lesser half of this exchange. They do have a shield, they're going to purge off the Paralyzing Casket, but bounces back to Spartan. Now Spartan in a bit of a pickle, they're going to start running him down, although with no Nasal Goo, I don't think this is a kill, especially with the mischance coming through from Water if it lands on anybody else, and now Zeroji healing up as best he can. He's going to survive without 40 HP, now salving up. It's just going to be blow for blow in the bottom lane.
Magic Stick value right there. It's a necessity if you're going up against a Bristleback as well as a Bat Rider, so because there's two of them in lane, like, you don't really have 2v2 lanes that often in Dota, especially with the Bristleback involved. Magic Stick is pretty much going to ensure that XPC, well, I'm not going to say that they're going to win the lane, but they're going to have a much better chance in the lane just because of that one simple item. And once they upgrade them into wands, which even though they ordinarily may not want to, especially this Troll Warlord, getting that wand value is going to be so important for XPC. If their lane is going to continue on like this, where they're just going to be continuously brawling, they're going to go strong into Jalopy. They need another set of Whirling Axes, which is going to come soon, but actually the shield pop is going to kill him off. I think the Witch Doctor, though he had good intentions, ultimately ended up killing off his Bristleback.
Yeah, I think that's fair. It's going to be First Blood going the way of XPC, and now after that, I think it's pretty safe to assume that this lane is a de facto win for them. Even though Bristleback's CSing well up against the Troll, he's the one to give up that gold, and it's more gold in the pockets of the Abaddon, which is going to get a career upgrade or what have you. The Drow is actually doing surprisingly well after the start she had, but now it's going to be punched once by Kefka. Return from the Frost Arrows is going to be annoying, but now that she's hitting with 75 damage, she should be able to keep her distance as well as continuously farm in this lane without the Lich being too annoying. The harass coming out from the Astral Spirit as well as the Frost Blaster, is it Frost Blast? Yeah, it is Frost Blast, will be annoying, but it's nothing that Drow can't deal with. Skank secures the Bounty Rune up top. The Haste Rune is currently spouted up by no one, but it looks like it's going to be secured by the Razor, potentially a gank opening.
I've just been watching this bottom lane, and something that I didn't really consider, Troll obviously gets damage from Berserker's Rage when he's in the melee form. Because of the Drow Ranger on his team, he has about the same amount of damage when he's in range. So a ranged Troll Warlord who's able to poke away at the enemies makes this a lot safer for Water in general. I don't really know how relevant that is, but it's interesting to see the mechanics at work here. The minor amounts of synergy that XPC have is working pretty well for them in this early laning stage. Like, not only the Troll Warlord, but also the Sniper getting +8 over on the middle lane. Again, the numbers don't really seem that huge, but when you're working up against a Razor, any sort of plus damage you have to chip him away is going to be huge. Bottom lane, Jalopy jumping very low to Water's Whirling Axes. Spartan's going to wish he had a little bit more offensive capabilities here, but it's going to be Water to take a cast, double stun, maybe triple, no, not triple, but Spartan going to be warded away by Zeroji. Water dropping pretty low, does have a bottle though, so if he gets away for just a little bit of time, he will be able to survive. In the meantime, Razor kills off Sniper solo. Water still being chased down. Now the Nasal Goo is there. Jalopy not with that much mana, but should have more than enough with a couple more Quill Sprays. One more whack, there it is. It's a double kill for afterShock as they take kills in both the mid and bottom lanes.
And everybody pretty much on this map is falling low as Madeira hits a Frost Blast as well as an Astral Spirit. Lich dropping low, I assume to a Soul Assumption from the Visage. And it's going to be, in the end, 2-for-1, favoring afterShock.
Yeah, so the bottom lane possibly overextending a little bit too much. Abaddon was unable to consistently heal up the Troll Warlord as he ran dry on mana and was running low on health as well, just taking many 2 hits from the Witch Doctor. So, the Witch Doctor does do quite a bit of damage as far as support heroes are concerned. 64, and he does have range. They're going to dive Zeroji, though. They have Spartan with the shield up on him. Is going to try to cut off this Witch Doctor, but the jukes are real from the Witch Doctor. Not as real from Jalopi. He's stuck in a corner, and he's going to be beaten down. Zeroji's not actually getting any TP support right now, which is kind of the weakness of afterShock's lineup. The only person who can really reliably TP down there is the Razor, as Magoma and Kefka are probably unwilling to TP in order to help out in situations like that.
Yeah, now Soul Ring on the Abaddon. Their stay in this lane is pretty ridiculous, as well as if they're able to secure those 2-minute runes. Just refilling the bottle of the Troll Warlord. They can pretty much stay here as long as possible. In the mid, outside of that kill on the Sniper, they've been doing fine, although it is going to be advantage towards Sim. And Ultimate's thrown into Mind Control. Not going to be enough to kill him off, but it is annoying. In the meantime, it's the Elder Titan up top who gets sniped by Soul Sentry coming out from Visage. Yeah,
just orb walking him down got a little bit too slow just because level 3 Drow arrows are going to be slowing any hero to a crawl. When you have a Soul Assumption as a finisher, that's pretty good. Relax is in the middle lane. He's going to get jumped by a Lich. I think this is just going to be an easy kill by the Lich, although Razor with a couple of whip strikes might end up getting the last hit. Who's going to get it? It's going to be the Razor. The Sniper previously took a full length Plasma Field and just got dropped solo. Water in the meantime, bottom lane is going to get shielded, but double stunned, maybe even triple stunned by the cast. They just need a couple more hits. Jalopi diving this tower deep. Quill Spray number 1 won't quite do it. Needs one more. No, one more right click from the Witch Doctor will kill him off. Now Spartan actually is in quite a bit of trouble. He will shield himself, and he might be able to get this kill, although no. He's going to sit there and wait. Maybe he didn't know that the Witch Doctor had a TP, but that was, I think, a mistake. Spartan could have gotten a kill if he went either direction.
Yeah, and in the end, it's going to be no kills going the way of XPC after that dive in bottom. It's going to spell the end of the Troll's life, and both the Sniper and the Troll, despite having a good start CSing, and in fact being involved in the first blood for the Troll, both of them currently 0-2, just not having a great situation for themselves. Dro is picking up quite a lot of steam, however, 36-12, and now he's going to work into the Elder Titan, slowed down with a lot of those Frost Arrows, and it's just going to be too much for him to handle. It's very rare that you actually see this aggressive of a start coming out from a Dro Ranger as far as the build is concerned. Usually you prioritize the aura, but it's working out in this lane.
Well, Mind Control is going to get a return kill onto Skanks at the very least. Now going to start linking up Madra. And actually, no, the Silence is going to come out first. And he will just instead use Eye of the Storm. That might just be the kill regardless. He's going to try to turn around with the Frost Arrows. But the Drow Ranger all of a sudden not doing too much damage. I think might have enough damage though. Mind Control is going to throw out one more Plasma Field. Will not be enough. Madra losing quite a bit of damage, but he has that additional damage from Marksmanship. This Drow Ranger is absolutely trucking. His Marksmanship bonus is staying strong, and really, Drow Ranger versus Elder Titan, if you actually put them up against each other, like in a real fight situation, Drow Ranger will be able to kite all day long. And this is even going for 3 points precision aura, so everyone else on XPC, to a lesser degree, of course, will be able to do a very similar thing. This Drow Ranger is having a free time up on top lane. She's getting kills, and she's getting farm. This is really not how you deal with the Drow Ranger. They need the Bristleback to be up here dealing with her, but that's not happening.
Yeah, definitely, and going for 3 Wraith Bands, although they don't scale very well, at this point in the game, they're the most effective item that you can get on the Drow, not only giving you just the flat damage for yourself, but also for everybody on your team, giving you an extra, 18? If I'm not mistaken, my goodness, can I math? It's going to be the Witch Doctor getting kill on the Troll Warlord down in bottom, as they're going to be able to chase him down with the Bristleback. No Baden support means no life for the Troll Warlord to be down there.
Yeah, Troll Warlord tried to TP out, but then Death Ward was there, so I mean, Troll Warlord is kind of tanky, I guess. Ring of Basilius giving him 8 armor total, but it's a Death Ward we're talking about. It's an ultimate being committed. Meantime, top lane, they're going to dive the Visage. Frost Blast, Plasma Field, Chain Frost being committed as well. I guess it's better to Visage die than Drow Ranger, as she was jungling, I suppose. In the meantime, middle lane, the Shrapnel from Relax is very slowly going to bring that tower down. However, now it's in deny range, and he has enough mana for one more cast of that Shrapnel, but he's dropping very low to the Elder Titan. Let's see, Elder Titan can last hit this. He will get the tower denied. That's kind of par for the course, though, but it's going to be Relaxed to get hit just once by Jalopi. Really don't know what the Sniper was planning on doing there. He needed to just full-on retreat when you're at less than 100 HP. Jalopi is going to be running into the Abaddon, but this is an Abaddon we're talking about. We can't do anything in response, so it's going to be a nice set of wins for afterShock. They get the tower deny, and they get the Sniper as well. Madra now in a little bit of trouble up on top. Will land the Gust onto the Razor, but he's still stolen quite a bit of damage. Here comes the Visage, though, and Mind Control. What are you doing there? I have no idea what is going on with this game. afterShock just throwing away their Razor.
Yeah, pretty much. He was stalking the Drow Ranger for the greater portion of half a minute, and, I don't know, just dives into your 2 tower casually, even though at this point in the game, everybody pretty much has a TP scroll. And that's why you don't do that in your pubs. So Razor throwing XPC, I don't know, pretty much a bone. Just a free one.
Yeah, well, so sometimes you gotta make the game a little bit more interesting, I suppose. The Visage Familiars, as I said, they are already up, and that's actually pretty influential ultimate in any game, but when you're with the Drow Ranger, it gets a little bit better. Meantime, Drow Ranger is going to get Death Warded down on bottom. Will juke into the fog a little while longer. Now going to eat her way through, juking out Jalopy completely. Spartan is there for a little bit of healing towards Madra. Now they're going to try to turn around his Roji. Lots of damage on the Witch Doctor, also taking tower aggro. He's going to go into that same juke path. Now Madara is going to get cut off by Mind Control, and they will kill off the Abaddon at the exact same time. It took a little while for them to get the kill, but they got it in the end.
That was incredibly greedy. Sniper looking for a snipe, not gonna shoot that one off. Lich also dies in the meantime up towards top. I didn't see how that went down. Ranger probably could have backed off there. It's just a little bit of greed. They wanted that extra kill, but couldn't find it. Water's going to be tagged with the greater portion of a plasma field, dropped to about half, but with Bottle, we'll be able to sustain here, although can't do much more than he's already doing. He needs to be very careful. If he gets cut out by a cask, could be disastrous. Currently relaxed, throws himself a shrapnel, trying to focus down into the Witch Doctor. Eats a miscoil as well. Ultimate coming up from the Troll, not really effective. There's the ultimate coming up from the Sniper. Will snag Zoroji. It's a couple more attacks from the Visage. Was all they needed to secure that kill.
You know, this game is a lot more of a bloodbath than I really expected, especially with the starting lanes. Capcom on top lane is suddenly in a lot of trouble. He will stomp. It's only level 1, though, so Madara is not going to be asleep for very long. And now the ice arrows, if one lands, then Kefka's just going to die. And I think that is a death sentence right there. Here comes the Familiars, just to add a little bit more damage. But Drow Ranger is going to get a solo kill up on top lane. In the meantime, bottom lane, XPC, they're pushing pretty aggressively. It's going to be Skanks to run into everyone. What are you doing there, Visage? I have no idea, but he's going to get shielded up and healed a little bit by the Abaddon. Certainly not enough when you're being beaten down by a Razor and a Bristleback. That's going to be a turnaround now for afterShock, as they are going to send the Witch Doctor in, stunning up Water to start things off, but Relax is there with quite a bit of damage on this Sniper, giving him plus 47 from his marksmanship aura. He's going to try to kill off this Witch Doctor, but the Death Ward's going to be channeled, and the Sniper gets blown up from the plasma field. Now they're going to chase after Spartan, who's going to try to... No, he's not going to try to TP. He does not have his ultimate either. Jalopy should be able to chase this one down. In the meantime, Water is going to get Chain Frosted, will not bounce a single time, but with another Frost Blast and a Cask, I think Water is going to drop as well. Yes, he will with the plasma field, dropping him very low, and just needs one more hit. There we go. It's a double kill for Jalopy. After all said and done, even though the Drow Ranger is getting kills up on top, XPC, they're taking slightly worse trades every single time.
Yeah, pretty much. A lot of dives. That last one was a 0 for 4. As it starts out with Sniper trying to go a little too aggressively. XPC, they seem to have ants in their pants or something. They're not farming and just chilling. They want to get these kills. It's working on top when it's just a Drow versus Elder Titan, but when you're dealing with a Witch Doctor as well as a Lich and a Bristleback, that's pretty risky, especially when they have the ultimates up.
All right, so aftershock, I mean, they're slowly but surely pulling ahead in this game. If we take a look at the net worth and the experience, it is actually not as slow and steady as I really would have thought, but they're getting a little bit here and there. Really, for XPC, the only hero who's having a good time is this Drow Ranger. Everyone else is just slowly but steadily losing their lives. 4 deaths on the Sniper, even 4 deaths on Water. These are heroes that you really never want to have dying anytime, but dying 4 times is just absolutely abysmal. Jalopy is going to be on the receiving end of a gank because he thinks he could go for a dive onto Relax. I mean, as a Bristleback, you usually would feel comfortable doing this, but he actually might get this kill anyway. Well, he's going to turn his back, and it's going to take quite a bit of damage. We'll actually Quill Spray and kill off one Familiar. The rest of the team, they're going into Roshan, actually, so Jalopy could have potentially gotten the kill, but Madara with his extra damage, plus the medallion now from Skanks, they will snag this one right under the nose of Zoroji. Age is secured for the Drow Ranger, but it's not going to be free because Water up on top lane is in quite a bit of trouble. He will voluntarily put himself into a corner. I think he was fine if he just ran, but now he's dead. That's going to be a free kill for aftershock, not losing anyone in trade, although Mind Control, he is on the run. He's going to start stealing damage from a Visage Familiar. He's going to give him a little bit, but the Drow Ranger is still trucking, and she'll do quite a bit of damage. Skanks drops pretty low, but not lethal. And it's yet again another trade in this game that I think is going to favor XPC this time just because they got a Roshan as well, but I don't know. Kills happening everywhere. This game is so chaotic.
Definitely. Madara is fully committed into the agility build with Yasha on top of the 3 Wraith Bands. I think its next item is going to be BKB, but oh, maybe it's not. Maybe it just goes for the full-on S and Y. A little bit of strength would definitely be useful for Madara, but I'm not sure if I'm completely on board with this build. I think a Blink Dagger or any sort of positioning tool would be a little bit more helpful for him.
Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat. It's a good item for sure. Like, it gives everything that you could possibly want, but there are sometimes you just get better items in general. Either way, what's done, or what is going to happen, and it's no sense talking about that any longer. We are going to see Crimson Guard for Jalopy and a Hand of Midas for the Elder Titan. I've had some pretty serious deja vu right now, but this is an Elder Titan who's pretty much going to be guaranteed farm down the line, and that's actually pretty good, but they're going to be jumped. I'm pretty sure I've seen this exact game before, I swear to God. Magoma's going to be first to fall, and now Echo Stomp from Kefka going to buy him a little bit of space, but Drought Ranger's right on top of the ET, and he's going to take a fall. Yeah, I just had like the sickest of deja vu. Like, I'm pretty sure I saw the exact same series of events happen before.
Yeah, I seem to recall a game that was in the European scene that happened like this. Mind Control is going to avoid himself a Gauss. He's on the tier 1 tower up on top is going to fall. Crimson Guard now completed by the Bristleback. They need to be careful, especially since Madera is dropping low, although he does have an Aegis. Link starting on the Spartan as Madera is dropping to the Bristleback. Now turning his back, he's going to be able to get a Paralyzing Cast off into a lot of enemy heroes. Everybody's pretty darn low, but they're not falling yet. Madera is going to be the first one to lose his life, but it's only the Aegis. There's going to be a Soul Assumption as well as the Sniper Ultimate to scare the life of the Witch Doctor. No! Voodoo Restoration is going to prove too much. The secondary Soul Assumption is going to be enough to secure that kill. Madera going to throw the Gus back onto Jalopy as well as onto Goma, trying to man-fight as best he can. Without the marksmanship bonus, not doing as much damage as he'd like to be. Now stomped up as well as the Lich Frostblast is going to be enough. Lich Chain Frost going to bounce back and forth from the Troll to the Sniper. That's going to be the end of the Troll's life, and now chasing down Relax. He's hooked up once, and that should be enough to secure this kill. One punch, two punch from the Elder Titan as well as the Spirit. It's going to secure the double kill, and on the sidelines of the fight, Razor's going to clean up. It's a full 5-man wipe. AfterShock only losing a Witch Doctor in a tier 1.
Yeah, that was 5 kills plus an Aegis. Drought Ranger also had that one at the beginning of the fight and didn't have one at the end. Mind Control was zoning out, I believe, the Visage and the Troll Warlord. No, he was zoning out 2 people, and he got them both down. So Razor doing some pretty heavy lifting on the sidelines, whereas in the main fight with everyone else, Bristleback getting some serious value with Crimson Guard. Like, this is the game to pick up the Crimson Guard. When you're talking about going up against a Troll Warlord, a Sniper, and a Drought Ranger, you need to block all of that physical damage, and it doesn't get much better than Crimson. Jalopy was also in the face of Drought Ranger for a good portion of that fight, so she did not have that extra marksmanship bonus. So a lot less damage coming out from the team. Kefka is in quite a bit of trouble. Will get Grave Chilled. He's gonna stomp for some reason. I don't really know why he stomped there, but sure, yes, he thought he was dead anyway. Jalopy and Magoma will be able to escape, but still, it's a very nice fight being won by AfterShock. Now they're going to look for a little bit more as Water on the bottom lane needs a TP out, but he does not have a TP out. He's going to get all of his damage drained, hitting for minus 114, 135, 156. Whirling Axe is going to be annoying, but here comes the slows from Jalopy, and they're going to very slowly but surely kill off this Troll Warlord.
They're getting misses because of the axes, but one more auto attack should be all that they need. He gets up his ultimate as a dying wish in order to help secure this kill onto Lich, maybe. No, ultimate's going to wear off as Abaddon hits him once and then actually gets slowed more than he is, as he has no points in the Avernus, and the Lich chain armor is going to be a nuisance for them. Paralyzing Castle, ultimate onto Relax. He's going to get a Photic shielded up, but they have no way to cancel this ultimate channeling from Zeroji. Relax is going to survive. Spartan with an ultimate probably going to do so as well. They drop a Miscoil into him as well. He might be able to turn if there's any backup, but right now there's not. Full length going the way of Spartan, 168 damage. One more auto attack is all that they need. The Aphotic Shield's going to absorb a little bit of that, but with the Mask of Madness, it's going to be fast enough to run. He will, as he's under the tower, and now they don't want to die, but Droranger's TPing in. Lich on the sidelines is being pinged out, but Zeroji to fall. This is familiar, is doing a truckload of damage, with a whole bunch of that being from the Dro ultimate, as well as a Soul Assumption dropped into Mind Control, dropped him to about 100 health, but that's going to be about it, as he's too fast for them to pursue. The Dro Aura is giving 57 plus to those familiars.
And it's kind of unfortunate for AfterShock. They could have, at the very least, taken down the Abaddon. That was a for sure kill. But they decided to try to go for both and ended up getting neither. So getting punished for greed, it's not going to hurt them too badly, because losing just a Witch Doctor at this stage is not really the end of the world by any stretch for AfterShock. But, you know, they could have gotten just a little bit more. And if they played the cards right, maybe they would have gotten it. But either way, it's still them holding on to a pretty decently sized lead. Although that fight going a little bit better for XPC than the previous. The fact of the matter is, AfterShock, they are getting very good items against what XPC have. When you are this heavy into the physical, as much armor as you could get is really the name of the game. And Elder Titan is going to get a very early Vlad's for the team. As I mentioned, Crimson Guard is already up. Don't think there's a mech on AfterShock. That would have been fantastic as well, but hey, you can only do so much in order to counter off the lineup of XPC. If they get a mech as well, it doesn't really matter how much damage Drow is adding, just because the AfterShock side will be so damn tanky, namely the Bristleback to just charge forward to the Drow Ranger and get rid of all that damage, so not really many options from that point onwards for XPC.
Yeah, definitely. For now, both sides are going to be defensively positioned. Abaddon pokes his head in the Roshan pit, but doesn't have the potential to spawn for another 2 minutes at the very least, and probably is going to be a little bit longer than that. Vladimir is available for the other Titan as he does have that shipped out to himself. The Visage is currently walking behind him, but it doesn't look like any fights are going to break out, at least in the meantime. Some dewarding coming out from XPC as they take out some vision around the Roshan pit is up in top. They're going to find themselves another Titan soloed up by Skanks. Draw wasn't even available, it doesn't matter. Even without the draw extra damage, the Visage Familiars do a whole truckload of damage.
Yeah, I mean, you just have the Familiars doing a lot of damage. You have the Visage himself who's getting the plus 58 damage. I mean, that's pretty decent. It's not the most attack speed, but it'll be more than enough. Relax is going to get lashed up by the Razor. He will not be able to TP out from there. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade yet again as Sniper takes his 6th death. And hey, Madra's going to run to my control as well, who also has a little bit of damage left in him from the previous fight. So he's going to turn around with 116. He's going to get kited perfectly, though. He's not even attacking. He's literally just moving into them and dying. I don't think he would have gotten the kill, but shit, you might as well attack.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't think there was really an opening for him. It's going to be a 1-for-1 trade that I don't think favors either side very significantly. I think the big winner is the Visage, but I don't know, it doesn't really matter all that much. Visage is going to be dangerously close to getting that Aghanim Scepter. Despite backing off for Medallion as well as Magic Wand and the Tranquil Boots, he's going to have that in about 800 gold or so. And once they have that, that's going to be 3 Familiars with that bonus draw damage, which is absolutely crazy. Whether it's in a team fight or whether it's split pushing down a tower, those Familiars can take out objectives by themselves.
Yeah, it's not impossible, though, for afterShock to deal with that because they do have Bristleback with Quills. If he's taking a lot of damage from the back and then he's just passively spraying those out, then unless the Visage Familiars are being microed perfectly or if they're in stone form, they're going to be dropping to that physical damage. There's not really that much you could do about it just because Quill Sprays do have quite a large amount of AoE effectiveness. So it's certainly a very nice item for XPC to have, but I don't know. I feel like they just need more items on different heroes, namely the Sniper and Troll Warlord. They've been kind of around in this game, but they've died so many times that they don't actually have a legitimate impact through their items. They're square in the middle of the net worth chart, and really, you want them to be on top, like literally on top of the net worth chart for these heroes. They're going to go for cost-effective builds with Mask of Madness and Yasha for Glass Cannon Sniper and Vlad's for the Troll Warlord, but they just need more hitting power. You can't rely on the Drow Ranger to do all of that.
Yeah, and even more so, I think that they would love to have a way to sustain themselves in the fight, especially the Troll, because really their front line is an Abaddon, and as a support he's not getting that much farm, he's not going to be able to do much. Currently a smoke from afterShock is going to invade the enemy woods, but they haven't found anybody yet. They might yet find Relaxes. He doesn't seem to be the wiser of this rotation. He's currently sandwiched, and I'm not sure he knows it yet.
Oh, he's going to see the L-Titan, think that hey, this is a free kill. I have Mask of Madness, and it might actually be a free kill. He's going to annihilate him. Wow, that L-Titan dropped like a rock, but unfortunately it's going to be Relaxed, also taking a fall. TP out, just to throw away another 100 gold. It's going to be a 1-for-1, but holy crap, Sniper with Mask of Madness and Drow Aura does a truckload of damage. It doesn't really matter, though, because he will die in the end. I don't know exactly who that favors. Like, it's going to be fairly even, I suppose, but with the Sniper down, afterShock, they have to wait for a creep wave, and then they're going to try to go for a tower push potentially. Although their bottom lane's being pushed, Jalopy is going to get hit instantly with a gust, but this is a Bristleback we're talking about. Not much that XPC can do about this. They're going to pop Battle Trance and then run away. Sure, that happened. Mind Control is going to chase forward, but I don't think he could get Madra. There is no spells to interrupt that TP. He's going to survive. Everyone's going to survive. But afterShock, they're now on the bottom lane, and they have a level 3 Razor ultimate with Aghanim Scepter. This is the time to push for them.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Right now, the ultimate coming out from the Troll as well as the Drow Ranger Aura is a dirty amount of damage for most of their heroes when they have that ultimate pop. The Sniper's able to pretty much kill anybody as long as he's not getting converged upon himself. There's just not great ways that they can reposition themselves or take those fights unless their positioning beforehand is immaculate, which it indeed might be, but up until now it hasn't been. Visage, now with the Aghanim Scepter, does have the 3 Familiars flying around somewhere. Actually, no, it's just 2 up and top. He should resummon those sooner rather than later. Maybe waiting until a team fight and he actually needs the resummon. For now, it's just 2 Familiars split pushing up top.
Oh, top lane, Jalopy is going to look for a little bit more blood. Madra is going to be taking enough to survive the initial brunt. Now with a couple Frost Arrows, will buy herself a little bit of space. But yeah, back to what you said about positioning. I mean, this is kind of a necessity whenever you run a Drow Ranger lineup. And this is really where Abaddon doesn't really help out that much. Like, he will be able to situationally apply a Photic Shield so your heroes can continue moving around through stuns and whatnot, but this is not the usual thing that we see from Drow Ranger builds that usually involves a Tide Hunter or something like that. Madra's going to get blinked upon after taking an Echo Stomp. He will get a Gust out, which is pretty nice for him, but the Earth Splitter might crack him back regardless. No, it'll just hit back onto Spartan. Madra's still surviving, but I don't think the Abaddon's going to be as lucky. He's going to drop. In the meantime, Water and Skank's both going to teleport straight into this Hornet's Nest. Not where you want to be. That's going to be death to the Visage. Mind Control might be dying right here to the Familiars, but he will make it out alive. The Sniper in the back line taking quite a bit of damage from a Chain Frost, but he will be able to survive as well. That's a 3-0 in favor of afterShock, and they might even get a couple of Familiars here. With the Quill Sprays, they're going to get 1. They're probably going to get 2. No, they're only going to get 1, but it's going to be a tower and 3 kills. Can't really be too upset about that.
Yeah, definitely not. And that's also a Visage that's going to be only with 2 Familiars for 130 seconds since he just used that resummon, so getting that 1 kill is pretty significant. Although they would have loved to have 2, it's pretty much like deleting that Aghanim Scepter from the Visage's inventory.
Alright, well, Roshan is also up, so afterShock, they take a huge win, and they're also going to go for just a little bit more. There are still Familiars in the air, and it looks like afterShock are not willing to fully commit to this. Probably a safe move, but now Heaven's Halberd on Jalopi. A lot more tankiness on him, and again, XPC almost completely reliant on the right clicks. Evasion and the disarm is going to be huge. Spartan is going to get stomped. Now here comes the pig. He's going to get gusted. Does he give a shit? He probably doesn't. Although there is borrowed time, and now Jalopi is turning his front to a Drow Ranger and Sniper. That's dangerous times, but Madro now is going to get his damage drained out with the Eye of the Storm working away, and the cast chain stunning perfectly Abaddon and Drow Ranger as they both take the fall at almost the exact same time. They're going to chase forward to try to get Skanks. That's not going to happen, but it's yet another win for afterShock.
Yeah, time and time again, that Paralyzing Cask has just been a thorn in the side of XPC. Blink up into the high ground, coming out from the Razor, finds himself a Water, cancel that TP, so he's going to be able to make his way back towards the base. But generally, they get caught out with like 3 of the heroes kind of clumped up. They're far enough away to where most spells would catch you, but Paralyzing Cask does not care, and, well, Ultimate going to be shot by the Sniper into Mind Control barely tickles him, and probably annoys the Sniper even more so just with that recoil damage. And now afterShock is going to go into the Roshan pit with 4 stacks of that sticky napalm, as well as with Lich Ice Armor. They can do this with just these 3 heroes, although having the Razor in the pit would be nice. It doesn't look too suspicious, and even if they know that this is going on, I don't think XPC can do anything about it.
They don't even have Voodoo Restoration on right now, so Jalopi taking literally no damage from Roshan without that additional regeneration. He's working with Crimson Guard and Heaven's Halberd, so he is very tanky. Lots of armor, the evasion, the damage block, all that good stuff. So he's not going to be taking that much damage, but shit, Bristleback is an unstoppable juggernaut like right now. He, in that last fight, turned his front to a Sniper and Drow Ranger. Never what you want to do really against anyone. But he did it, and he really didn't take that much damage. And Ice Armor, what level is it right now? It's level 4, so even more armor for afterShock's team. This is a scary amount of survivability on everyone. And XPC, I mean, it's nice to have a Drow Ranger giving everyone a lot of damage, but you also need those heroes themselves to be holding a lot of damage, and that's certainly not the case right now. They're going to look for a fight over towards mid. Familiars flanking from the south, as Jalopi and Zeroji flanking from the north. It is going to be Magoma to be focused down first, and he's going to take the fall before he can even get a Chain Frost out. The Bristleback will fall back after losing that Lich, so it looks like, well, Kefka's going to look for a stomp. He won't land it. They're going to charge forward for Madra. The Gust is going to push them back, but Jalopi has an Aegis. He wants to fight right now. The Familiars are going to stun pretty much everyone now, as Jalopi is going to be the target of focus. He will pop the Crimson Guard. Here comes the Earth Splitter. Will not hit onto much, but Madra's going to be focused down in a hurry. No shields or anything like that will save him. Now Spartan already used his ultimate. He's going to be focused down by Jalopi, still with the Aegis. He's going to keep charging forward as Kefka lands another stomp onto Water this time, and the Troll Warlord is going to try to desperately turn around and fight or try to run. Kind of indecisive, but he's ultimately going to settle on fighting. Might kill off Zeroji in the end. Well, he's still alive, actually. Surprisingly amount of survivability from him, but Zeroji's still alive as well. Jalopi, in the meantime, has been running rampant on the back end along with Mind Control. Only Skanks and Relax to survive as Mind Control blinks right back in with the damage drain onto the Visage. He's going to drop a lot of damage with Mind Control, and with the Assassinate, might get this kill. He will, but it's not going to be for free, as now Relax is going to be forced to TP within his own base, but he's going to get cast, and that's going to be him dying within his tier 3. The tower is already dead, and without the Razor, afterShock can't really go for much more, but they take yet another convincing team fight in a 2-for-5 exchange.
Yeah, I don't know how they're going to kill this Bristleback. He's still holding on to an Aegis. It actually didn't matter that he had that item. He didn't even drop below half health. If Jalopy gets himself a Shiva's Guard, I think he can just go crazy, maybe even a Satanic if he really wants to play that way. I don't think it matters what he buys. At this point in the game, he's immortal, and Spartan is not so. He does proc his ultimate, which will give him a little bit more time to deal with, but he's just going to get the rundown from Jalopy. Tier 4 towers or not, it doesn't actually matter for this Bristle boss. He's kind of wanting to lose this Aegis. I'm not sure it's going to happen. Kefka's going to be forced to Ghost Scepter up as Drow Rangers focus him down. Jalopy might fall under this tier 3 tower. They're focusing him down with both Water and Madeira, but now after the Aegis procs, I doubt they're going to be able to kill him a second time. Let's see if it's going to happen.
He wanted to die that first time because he was completely out of mana. He's going to turn around and go straight to Madara. The Stomp is going to be canceled or something like that. So Madara's going to buy a little bit more time to survive. Jalopy's slowed down to a crawl, but he's still pretty tanky. He's going to get hit by everything, but he doesn't really care. Earth Splitter now, only onto the Troll. Not going to do too much as Kefka's going to take quite a bit of damage. Assassinate is going to 360 no-scope him to death at the Ghost form, even helping out in that cause. So maybe afterShock overextending a little bit too much. They really need their Razor there for the Aghanims if they want to push, but still they take more and more kills. Losing the Elder Titan that time, probably not the best for them, but Bristleback showing off how unstoppable he is. If he gets an Assault Cuirass or a Shiva's Guard, probably Shiva's Guard actually, then what can XPC do? I don't think they can do anything.
Yeah, I think Shiva's is probably his next choice, but I'm not sure that matters that much. He currently is sitting on like 5,000 gold. He could pretty much buy any item in the game and pretty much still be immortal. I think Shiva's would just help his cause, giving him a lot of extra mana. I wouldn't be opposed to him going for a straight up Scythe either. I think that could be decent.
Yeah, going for a Scythe or hell, be man mode and go for a Basher. I mean, all these items are options for Jalopy. I was thinking Shiva's, but just because the minus attack speed would be huge against XPC, but the plus armor aura from the Assault Cuirass would kind of serve a similar purpose. That being said, the Razor's also holding onto a lot of money himself, so they could split those two items. It is going to be an Assault Cuirass for the Pig, and I'd expect a Shiva's Guard to be coming up on someone from afterShock. Maybe the Elder Titan who already has a plate mail.
Yeah, I think that's fair. Elder Titan, he went for the Midas early on. Now it's starting to pay off. He's pretty much broken even, just constantly getting a little bit of extra gold, and he should be able to get that Shiva's Guard at decent timing. Although I'm not sure if it's going to matter. They might break high ground before they have that completed. afterShock, I'm not sure there's much that really stops them as soon as this Bristleback gets inside the face of the Sniper and the Drow Ranger. They can do almost nothing except for gust him back, and that only delays the inevitable.
All right, so we're pausing for some reason. I have no idea why, but maybe afterShock just wanted to admire this net worth lead that they have. It's 14,000 in favor of afterShock and 15k plus in experience. My god, afterShock are just 100% in control of this game, and really I can't help but feel that the XPC side would have a much better chance if the Troll Warlord actually had items. Like, he was actually surviving in that last fight for quite a long time with only Vlads and Power Treads. That's fine for 15 minutes into the game. 31 minutes, not so much. If he had a BKB, if he had a Maelstrom, things would be looking so much better for him. He's going to be going for an Ultimate Orb. So, I guess stats is always nice, but that's certainly not going to have the impact that he really wants to. It's an incredibly cost-inefficient item, that Ultimate Orb.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know, he's sitting on currently a Casual Bracer, Aquila, Vlad's. They're nice cost-effective items, even though the aura from the Aquila and the Vlads don't stack. It doesn't really matter. It's just not enough. Like, 15 minutes ago, this would be nice, but not at 32 minutes into the game. Water, I think he needs to pick up his farming game, and most importantly, not die. If you look at the KDA, he's 1-9-3, and Sniper 4-8-3. It's just not pretty for XPC.
So what can XPC do about this? I think their best chance is try to just extend the game as long as possible and have more chances at perfect positioning, more chances for the Troll Warlord to get whatever this item is going to be, and then just eventually overrun the enemy team with damage. Like, hopefully try to kite the Bristleback and not die instantly to Chain Frost, stuff like that. That is probably their best chance, and that's going to take like 20 more minutes of farm, so I don't know. Things are looking very bad for XPC, as you said, but what they could do to counter this, I don't really know. I mean, the Drow Ranger is still hitting pretty hard, but she's also dying really fast, and that's not a good combination.
Yeah, currently I think one of the best tools that they have to delay this game is Split Push coming out from Skanks, but I don't see any of his familiars on the map currently. I think he needs to summon those and just get those pushing out lanes. It's fairly risky to do, but I think that's the best thing that he can do. He is going to get those 3 familiars up and send them towards the bottom lane, but I think just getting as much pressure as you can on lanes to keep afterShock at arm's length is their best bet, and who knows, if afterShock aren't reacting fast enough, they might lose a tier 2 tower because of these birds.
And afterShock, it's going to be a nice little win for XPC getting that additional kick of gold, but do afterShock actually care about losing tier 2s? Because at this point, I don't think a tier 2 is really going to be high on their list of priorities. It's going to be, how do we actually win this game from here on out? With the Shivas complete on Razor and an Assault Cuirass complete on Bristleback, this is a huge amount of extra armor, not only just for those two heroes, but also effective armor in the slow attack speed and pure armor in the Assault Cuirass. Top lane, Water is going to be trying to take down that top lane. He might be successful in doing so, but he's going to need to come back very quickly.
Yeah. And with a Glyph, I don't think he can even do this. The rest of afterShock are currently pushing in mid, all in position to take this high ground, and it's the burden of XPC to do anything. Trollord does get the tower, but he's not joining the rest of his team. He's just going to be there in spirit, potentially getting an ultimate. There's a gust that lands onto 2, but that doesn't do enough. These Visage Familiars being taken down by the Quill Sprays, and now they throw a Soul Substitute in Jalopy. He actually doesn't care. There's a Stomp that comes out from the Elder Titan to delay things. afterShock have plenty of sustain to keep going with this push. Zeroji's still plenty full on the mana, and they have an Urn as well as a Mac. Jalopy's falling surprisingly low, down to about half health, but now he's going to turn his face to Madera, who's being focused down, and the first to fall is the Dro. They need to buy back just to make sure they have the damage. Shane Frost is pulled away by the Visage Familiars and should remain the case. For now, afterShock are going to be happy with the tier 3 and a forced buyback from the Dro.
Also, in the meantime, Water, he's focusing the melee Raxes up towards top. XPC have held with only 4 heroes, and they get one TP canceled. Water is going to take the first Rax. In the meantime, a fight breaks out. Madra is going to be focused down. He already uses buyback, and despite the shields, he will be going down. Bristleback going to take that one. Now going to chase forward for Skanks. TP back is not going to hold the top lane. Water is going to take a set of Raxes for XPC. Though with everyone dying in the middle lane, I think afterShock could just either straight up end the game or go for 2 sets of Raxes themselves. As the Troll Warlord, though he did get 1 set of Raxes, with the tier 2 towers up, they can't get anything else. Elder Titan going to set up for another Stomp. Will not land onto anyone, but I think they're just going to go for the Sniper instead. Blink forward for Mind Control. The Grave Chill might save him. No, it won't with the cast. It will not be enough, and now Skanks is going to be focused down. The stuns onto Jalopy going to slow him down, but the mech is going to give them enough armor to comfortably dive these tier 4 towers. The Troll Warlord has returned. The Sniper has bought back, but now Troll Warlord all of a sudden is way in over his head. He's going to be dropped in an instant. Has buyback, has to use it as well. The Sniper going to try to do what he can to defend, and even though XPC get a set of Raxes, which is probably the best case scenario possible, they're still going to lose so many heroes. Another minute before they're at their full strength, and still they have the Razor and a full health Jalopy to worry about. This Voodoo Restoration from Zeroji, though it is running dry, provided them with hundreds, if not thousands of HP points over the course of this fight. That's 2 Raxes down in favor of afterShock, and now they have to fall back, and I think they should be able to do so cleanly as well, as XPC don't really have the numbers to give chase. There's no Roshan up, but the last set of Raxes for XPC is looking pretty tasty right now for afterShock.
Unfortunately for them, that's the lane that has the barracks down, so pushing that lane's a little bit harder, and there's also a tier 2, so they can't push through the other lanes in order to get it. But still, afterShock have a commanding lead in this game. That trade went surprisingly well for XPC. If they were able to defend after getting that barracks, it could have been huge, but currently the barracks advantage is in afterShock's favor, and it's going to maintain that way. Visage, again, is going to lose one of his familiars to the Bristleback, and constantly hasn't really been able to use them very effectively. XPC, once they lose one of their heroes, a lot of their fighting power is taken off of the table. Whether it's Troll, Abaddon, Dro, Visage, it doesn't really matter. All of them are key for them to be able to have a hope of taking a fight off of afterShock.
And now double Shiva's Guard. The slow doesn't stack, but anyone who gets armor on afterShock is going to be very happy with their pickup, and the freezing Arctic Blast, does technically stack. Like, it does do separate instances of damage, so plus 200, not too bad there. Looks like Bristleback is going to go for Cuirass and the Basher, so this Bristleback now does a truckload of damage, and well, he's been doing quite a bit of damage anyway. In the meantime, Familiars, they're going to survive. Actually, both of them survive. That's actually pretty surprising. 600 HP is hard to burn through, but afterShock, they're very slowly but surely going to push up the top lane, and XPC, they have to make a defense. They can't really afford to split push just because it'll, first of all, be too slow. Second of all, there are tier 2 towers to worry about, so they have to go through a lot more structures than afterShock have to go through. Plus, afterShock have a lot more farm and a Razor with Aghanim, so their pushing is just overall going to be faster. So XPC, their only chances to defend, and it's going to be a difficult one, especially with the double damage unit on Bristleback.
Yeah, definitely. Right now, they cannot touch this Bristleback. If they could previously, which I don't think they could. Blink forward, Razor's going to get a link off. TP away from the Sniper, and Abaddon will keep them safe. But now they're going to go down through bottom. They're riding on the map, but then the pings come out into the tier 2 tower. It's still standing, unfortunately for them. They lose the tier 2 tower down in bottom as well, and they need to be careful. XPC, with these heroes down in bottom lane, can take the tier 3 tower and barracks very quickly. In fact, they need to get back now. I don't think they can stick around here. Maybe they're looking for a trade, but trading up against a Troll Dro and the Familiars is very risky. But now they get a clap onto Madeira, but the Ear Splitter's not going to land onto him as well. Trying to man-fight as best he can, but they bring back Jalopy, and with Jalopy here, there's not a hope for that Drow Ranger to survive. Rest of the heroes are still inside the base. It's only the Elder Titan and Bristleback to defend. TP in from the Visage is going to mean that afterShock need to get out of here. They kind of want their Bristleback in order to continue this push, but now it's a lot easier than for them to do so. Tier 2 tower down, they can push through mid or bottom.
And because they got the Drow Ranger, most of the damage from XPC is now off the table. Water hitting for, well, not much now because he has a static link on him, but he's hitting for, you know, about 15 damage a pop, not too good. And now Skanks is going to be slowed down as well. He's going to be chased down, and Mind Control is going to very easily take this kill just by himself. Relax can do nothing but sit and watch. The rest of the heroes from afterShock that teleported down to the bottom lane are now very quickly going to mobilize back onto the XPC side of the map, and Mind Control is going to open up in the last set of racks. As XPC, without the damage from Drow Ranger, can do nothing to defend except for throw out a couple of spells here and there. But with Elder Titan throwing out a Stomp just to slow down everyone, and with everyone working with that Voodoo Restoration, XPC is just a matter of time before they die. Magoma is going to be focused down by Familiars, and Relax is going to kill off the Lich, but it's a Lich. Who really cares? Death Ward now being channeled. It's going to do quite a bit of damage, actually bouncing through to Relax. I think Spartan might have killed him off. Yes, he did! If Abaddon didn't run to the east, the sniper would have lived. But that's fine because they already lost the game. Their base is in full breach, and they're losing heroes left, right, and center. Madara's back. What can the Drow Ranger do about this? Nothing but call a good game.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks for watching. This has been pretty much it on HeflaTV 2. However, we are going to be casting the Yard Red Festival over on our ESFX stream. At the very least, it's going to be Coucher casting that on HeflaTV, I believe it's called. Maybe just HeflaTV 1 on ESFX. And hopefully one of us can join him fast enough inside the lobby. So maybe Mike has to go right now. But thanks for watching. I've been Grand to see. He's been Mike Loris, and we've been here at HeflaTV. If you like the casting here, you can follow us on Twitch, Twitter, and Facebook at HeflaTV. And the VODs will be uploaded to youtube.com/HeflaMoke momentarily after the game. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon on some future casts.
Later, guys.